Okay, so today I wanted to do a few housekeeping things before we get rolling to talk about the new builder due to the WordPress 5 update and the common problems we're seeing with that and a few other things. So first, a few housekeeping things. I am going to bring up a library website. Why don't we do the Wisconsin Valley Library Service website, just so you can have a frame of reference while we are going through some stuff. I'm going to turn my camera off now so that you focus on the screen without me distracting you. Okay, so a couple housekeeping things. It's really important to continue adding alternative text when you add images to your media library and onto any of your pages. What I'm talking about when I say alternative text is over here on the right-hand side. You want to make sure each of your images has a title and an alternative text and description if you want to be super brave. And remember, that's because anybody who has site issues or is losing their site and is using a screen reader or having a screen reader read their page aloud to them or guide them through the page, the alternative text box is the only information their screen reader will give them. So if you don't have any alternative text with your images, they're not going to know what's in your image. So that's important. And you can do that as you upload a single image, or you can upload a whole bunch of images and do all the alternative text at one time. Now, if you want to check to make sure that you have alternative text on all of your images, on the left side of your dashboard, which is this gray box area on the left column here, click on Media, and then you can click on your images, each image, and then check over here on the alternative text side. Now, this is kind of odd because there's no save button, so just add your alternative text and then you can exit out of something, right? Okay, so that's our first housekeeping thing. The next is, please be updating your image carousels on your home pages or sending me a list of new books and new DVDs to update your carousel. And when I say carousel, I'm talking about these new book carousels and new DVD carousels. Keep these updated, because if somebody sees something that is out of date, they're going to think all the content on your website is out of date, right? And our third housekeeping is, when you're done with an image on your website, clean it out. So go to your media library and get rid of old images that you are no longer using so that the memory on your website is freed up, because the more images and documents and things you have attached to your website, the longer it takes for people's computers and smart devices and iPads or tablets to download your website. Additionally, if someone has to pay for data on their phone and things, if you have tons of images on your website, it costs them money. It costs them data to download your mega website with a whole bunch of images on it. Fourthly, I want to show you guys a really cool tool. Remember, I talked about a tool called Measure It that would help you determine the size of your slider images. Well, I've been having problems with Measure It or Measure IT Chrome extension, so I found a new one. This one is called Page Ruler, and you can just do a simple internet search for that. And what it does is it allows you to figure out what size of something on a web page is. So the slider for Amory is 800 by 230 pixels. And you can exit out of that. Or maybe I want to know, what do I want? I want to know the size of this little Facebook icon. So I'm going to click on my Page Ruler extension and measure it, and that is 30 by 30 roughly. So like I mentioned, instead of using Measure IT, I recently downloaded the Chrome extension Page Ruler, and I do believe it's available for Mozilla and other browsers. Number 5, if your website is in draft, please send me any new edits or changes as you get them. Don't wait to go through your whole website and send me all of your changes at once. That slows you down. It slows me down. Send changes as you see them or as you think of them my way so we can get your website up live. That's for websites in draft and websites that are live. If you have any changes that you're interested in, send them my way. Last housekeeping item is for each page, please be adding excerpt descriptions of your page, and I'm going to show you where to do that. So at the bottom of your page, way underneath your modules and sections and things, you'll find an excerpt box, and you want to write a quick, like 5 or 6 word description of what's on your page, because that's what's going to show up when you do an internet search for your library. Let me say that again. If you add an excerpt, that quick excerpt is going to show up when you do a search for your library website. So Neilsville has done a great job of adding excerpts for each of their pages. You can see it's nice here. I want to show you how WVLS has been slacking. Yes, I said it. I've been slacking on my maternity leave. I was going to add excerpt to the pages. But see, these are kind of all jumbled, and I want something nice and concise and succinct to go there so people know what these pages have. So the library administration page shouldn't say, library administration to suggest additions, please email Marla. No, you want to direct what it's going to say here in the search results so people get a clear idea of what's going on. Okay. Let's start our topic today. First, I'm going to check the comment area and questions area to see if you guys sent anything in, and I don't see any questions popping up. Remember, you can put in questions as you have them. Okay, so we're going to talk about the new builder that kind of threw everybody off. Now, when I say that there's a new builder, one morning you guys woke up, gosh, what morning would that have been? February 4th, my first day back. And you clicked into your websites to make some changes. And when you clicked edit page, you got greeted by this weird, okay, Somerset, I must have changed it for you. Let me find one that hasn't had it changed yet. You tricked me. When you went to go in to edit your web pages, you found a new weird prompting. So here I click edit page, and now it says with the new builder, this is what you were greeted with. Welcome to the wonderful world of blocks. So you were kind of thrown off your game. This is not what you were used to seeing when you wanted to edit your website, right? That's because WordPress updated to WordPress version 5. And with the new WordPress version 5, they updated their web page builder. So Divi also updated its classic editor, or the one that you grew up learning to love when you started building your web page and your website. They updated that builder so it would work with the new WordPress builder. Now you'll see a couple fail-safes here. You'll see that there's still a button where you can return to the default editor and keep building the way that you know how and you are quickest with, or you can edit with the new Divi Builder that is most compatible with WordPress 5. So when I click use the new WordPress builder, you'll notice that it looks a lot like what we had access to as the visual builder. That's because it is the visual builder. Remember, we said avoid using the visual builder as much as possible because you can make many mistakes. But eventually, the visual builder is going to be the only builder that they provide. And we're kind of seeing that right now. Right now, they're saying, yes, you can use the classic editor, but eventually, you'll be needing to use the visual builder. So the visual builder is going to replace the classic editor. And in the Elegant Theme announcement that I sent your way back 2 weeks ago, they said you can turn off the new builder and edit in the classic builder, but just for your information, it will be disabled at some point. Now, they haven't told us when they're going to get rid of the classic builder. So that's nice, because that means we have more time to get used to this new builder while having access to the old builder. So I'm going to show you how to walk through the new builder. Then I'm going to show you how to turn it off. If you just need to get something done and you don't want to learn how to do it in this new one and you don't want to make any mistakes, that's a reason to turn off this new builder until you learn it a little bit better. So let's walk through this new builder, which is essentially the visual builder. Colors are our friends. First I'm going to walk through this visual builder, and then I'll jump into the classic builder to show you how it relates. So when you hover over an area, it's going to give you controls, right? Areas outlined in blue are sections. So if you wanted to change the background of something, that's usually in this blue area. Next up is this teal color. Teal colors encompass a row, so everything within a row. So a row can contain 3 modules, and the modules are a gray color. Now I'm going to pause here because I see a question floating out. It says, if you are just getting started, should we begin by using the visual builder? I would say no. Good question, B. I say do not use the visual builder because it is so easy to just accidentally hit this trash can and delete something. Or, and I'm going to turn on my webcam to demonstrate this, but maybe you're editing your screen here and then you turn to talk to someone while they come into your office and you accidentally hit a button and then you turn back to your website and it's completely different. That's the kind of trouble the visual builder can get you into. So until you feel very comfortable in editing in the visual builder, until you've built up your skills, I think it's best to stay in the classic builder where you have to hit save and update a million times for the changes to take effect. Now, I understand that in the visual builder, you still have to click this purple button here and click save for your changes to take effect. But if you've deleted something on accident, you're probably going to be in a little bit of a panic, right? Know that you can always press Control-Z, and that's the equivalent of undo on your keyboard. But sometimes that doesn't work, and sometimes you're in a little bit of a panic, so you don't know to click or press Control-Z for undo. Okay. Going down the screen. So you'll also notice a couple things with this builder. Not everything that we have done to your websites to make them look how you want them to look will be visible in the visual builder. One example is the carousel, the DVD carousels and the new book carousels and the children's book carousels, or any carousel that you've created. You have to go into the classic builder, find your plugin, and edit the carousel that way. Now, with every plugin that you add to your website, it slows down your website infinitesimally until you have quite a few plugins. So that's something to be aware of. Additionally, with every plugin you download, it can affect the builder. It can affect it can affect WordPress and how it functions, right? So that's one of the first problems that we are seeing with this new visual builder. And I'm going to show you here. So let's say I wanted to select a color for the background of this section. So I'll click on settings and I'll go to background and I want to select a color. I'm unable to select a color even though I'm supposed to be able to. So there's still a couple glitches that are happening in between our plugins and the Visual Builder. Right now, I believe that the carousel plugin that we are using is creating this issue where we can't choose a color. So right now, I've been emailing back and forth with the plugin people who will manage the carousel plugin, their support team, to see if they can make a fix. And if they can't, I'm going to investigate new options for carousels because I'm seeing that for our libraries, we do want carousels of new DVDs and new books, new carousels of whatever your heart wanted. Okay. What other problems? So we're seeing the color selection is an issue, so you're having to flip back and forth between the Visual Builder and the Classic Builder. Another problem I have seen, I have gotten quite a few emails saying, oh my gosh, my website, my web page is totally a mess. There's so much space in the header because we use a code for our library search bars at the top of our page, both for IFLS websites and for WVLS websites. And for some reason with the update, when you guys are making your changes, something happens where 1 million extra paragraph spaces are entered into that search bar code. So then I have to go in and delete thousands of extra spaces to bring the web page back up. Because essentially, what is happening is your web content, your web page content is just being shoved down 1 million zillion paragraph spaces. So, I like that, Somerset. You have updated your carousels here for Valentine's Day. That's cute. I like that. Okay. Is anybody having other problems with the new update, or have you run into other issues with the new update, or just in general problems that you are seeing? Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Feel free to type them in there as we go. So now I'm going to show you how to turn off the new builder that's so frustrating, right? Or if you're frustrated with it. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to go to the back end, right? And so here's your dashboard on the left-hand side. Go down to where you see Divi. Click on Divi. Next, you're going to go up to Builder, this tab here, this purple tab, Builder. Oh, and then click on Advanced. Scroll down and you'll see Enable Classic Editor, and it's disabled. You can enable it. And that's how you turn off the new WordPress 5 builder. And I've turned that off for a couple websites. But I want to stress that now's the time to practice with the Visual Builder. And when I say practice with the Visual Builder, I mean really commit to it. Find some time off of desk where you can sit down and focus on website building and not have to worry about someone coming up to the desk where you have to check them out and stuff. It's really important, just like cataloging, that you're not distracted so that you don't make any errors in the Visual Builder. Just like in cataloging, if you add an extra dot or period or something, it could totally throw off what you're doing. Okay, so let's practice a little bit in the Visual Builder. Remember, this is a section, so everything highlighted in blue you can adjust with the settings here. This is a row, and this is a row, so anything within this row you can adjust the backgrounds and things. It might be nice to bold these terms here, so to make them stick out a little bit more, so we can bold those. And remember, I'm always going to click the purple 3 dots there and click Save. I think the 3 dots are called ellipses. I could be wrong, but just let me know. Maybe I want to add another blurb here. Let's pretend that Gilman is actually an IFLS library and we need to add a blurb for Linda. What I can do is duplicate or click the double box icon here to duplicate one of these blurbs. And then I'm going to change the language here to say lynda.com. And I'm going to add in new language in here. So brush up on your public speaking with free quick tutorials. Tutorials on your on your computer or smart device. I don't know. And then we can change the image up by hovering over it and clicking the settings. So then you can come in here, find the image area, delete this image, and add the lynda.com information. Well, Gilman doesn't have lynda.com, so I'm going to delete that. That brings another thing to my forethought is I need to be adding a Lynda blurb to your websites if you have lynda.com, and that could go on your front page as well as a programs or services page. To exit the Visual Builder, you always want to open this purple ellipsis, click Save, and then click the Exit Visual Builder. Sometimes it'll prompt you to say, save your changes and then exit, even though you are positive that you've saved your changes. It's still worth it to save your changes again and then exit the Visual Builder. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about the Visual Builder? While you're thinking about that and typing your questions into the chat box, I want to remind you that you can always go to the WVLS website resources page, and I'm going to put that into the chat box because this page is where you can find all of the webinars that we do together, recordings of them. So today's webinar is going to go in here, and a quick description of what we've gone over. How-to resources are in here, right? And how-to resources is super important because there is a link to the Elegant Themes Divi tutorials page. So if you need to learn more about a specific module, or if you want to search for a functionality that you're interested in, the Divi tutorials are wonderful. There's also a Learning the Basics tutorial and a Using the Builder tutorial, and more information on customizing Divi and other features. One that I want to bring your attention to is the Divi testimonial module. And you can see some examples here about using quotes. You can also put videos in here. You can change the settings so they pop out a little bit more. I want to encourage you guys to put a testimonial module on your website, whether that's on your About page. Maybe take advantage of budget season and put some testimonials on your home page for budget season, right? Or maybe on your library board page or your About page, and sharing that out with your stakeholders. Maybe send some of those testimonial shots to your city board and your county board. The other one was, gosh, what was it called? Hover options. Now, when you guys go, I'm just going to search hover. Oh, poopity poop. So okay, so I just did a general website search for hover Divi theme. October 4th and October 17th, there was a Divi feature update, October 8th, 2018. So fall of 2018, they launched hover options. And so every time they send out an article, there's also a video that goes along with it, which I highly suggest you click on to watch. But essentially, they launched a hover option with every single module so that when someone's on your website, they can, when their mouse hovers over a module, you can make that module kind of behave differently. That's called a micro interaction. So kind of like when you're playing video games and things, or when you're on your cell phone and you tap an app and the app moves a little bit and then it opens. It's sending, there's all kinds of research and articles and stuff, but incorporating micro interactions where somebody's behavior on your website kind of rewards them with a little bit of a ding, you know, like a sound effect or a slight movement that acknowledges their presence on their website, that encourages that feeling of the ability to interact with the website instead of just the website providing information. A website user's brain will actually emit these kind of dopamine chemicals because it's a reward. It's kind of tricking our bodies into liking a website by releasing hormones and things. Isn't that kind of nuts? And as we scroll down in this article, you'll see some examples of what that means, how you can transform your homepage. Maybe you want your blurb to move a little bit. It looks kind of sexy, doesn't it? I know Meryl's interested in copying this effect where when you hover over something, text will appear, right? So that's pretty cool. And here's another micro interaction that you can do with the hover options. So it's kind of just acknowledging that you're there on the website and that you're interacting with the website. And I think that if you've been surfing the web, you've probably seen this micro interaction on other websites as well. And you'll see that's in the settings advanced area of a module. This one just happens to be an image module. You can put it in a section so the section can kind of blip as well. That's pretty cool. So do you guys want me to go through anything on the visual builder, or are you understanding what we're going through today? Please know that I'm going to still be digging into exploring the issues that are happening because of our carousel or our new book carousel, our new DVD carousel on our websites. It's interfering with selecting colors in the visual builder. Do you want me to go through turning off the visual builder again, or was one time through worth it? Do you have a handle on it after going through it once? I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Okay, well, it is 1:30. We've been together for about a half an hour, so now I'm going to open it up to general questions. Now's the perfect time to take yourself off of mute and ask me any questions you have about your website. We'll go directly to your website and work on it together, because chances are if you have a question about something, someone else attending this webinar or watching this webinar would also benefit from your question or your interest in some functionality. So anybody have any questions? I see something pop up. Okay, so to be clear, if the color option is not working in the visual builder, how do you change the color? What you need to do, let's pretend that I'm in the visual builder and I can't get the color to change. And I'm going to show you that. And the design, I'm going to go down to background, and I want to put a background color and it's not working. What you do is you exit the visual builder and you click edit page to use the classic builder. So you actually go into the module like you would have in the past. And here I'm just showing you how if it works for us. It looks like it's taking its time thinking it out. Sometimes when I refresh the page, oh yeah, here we go. So we're in a row. Oops. Come on. So again, I'm in a blurb. I go down to background. I click on the background space, and now I'm able to click a color. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, next question. Rebecca, does that sound good? Did that answer your question? The next question from Daniel is, do you recommend having multiple carousels at all times on your front page, or just one or two at a time to keep it simple? Personally, I am not a minimalist when it comes to websites. I am a brutalist. I think, oh, hey guys, here's an example of one of the issues that happens. Daniel, I'm going to get to your question in a second. Remember I told you how it adds a whole bunch of weird, funky spaces into your coding? We're seeing that right now. So I'm going to show you what I do to fix this issue right now. When I get an email from you saying, hey, everything's gone wonky, I come in and I check the code here. And a lot of times we'll see that a million zillion paragraph spaces have been entered into here. But I'm not seeing that. So let's see if it saves it, all those extra weird spaces, when I log out of editing. Yeah, check this out. Okay. So first I'm going to check the code that's over here, and it's not in there. So now I'm going to go to edit page, and I'm going to go into the actual code in the search box area. Get rid of the extra paragraph codes in here. Yep, so here we go. You'll see all these extra paragraph codes. Of course it does that when I'm trying to talk to you guys. So I'm just going to get rid of a few here. And Daniel, let's resume discussion of how many carousels should you have on your homepage. Like I said, I'm a brutalist. I think that less is more on a website. So I do not suggest that anybody have, like 5 carousels going, because, and I'll show you this, if I click onto a web page that has a whole bunch of carousels and they're all going at the same time, it's going to kill your eyeballs and actually be a deterrent from somebody who's on a deterrent for someone who's on your website. They'd rather not be on a web page that has 800 movements going on. Okay, let's see if I fixed this. And in the end, if I haven't fixed this by deleting all these spaces, I'll just re-add the code in because I have a copy of the code. It's no big deal. Jeez. I should have just added a new fresh copy of the code. Let's see what that looks like. If it looks awful, I'm just going to re-add the code in when we're all done here, because I want to show you. Oh, yep, it fixed it. Okay, so when we're talking about having multiple carousels here, you'll see that they're moving independently of each other, and there's 3 of them here. So imagine if you're here and you're seeing all of these move at the same time. Either you might want to turn the the advanced movement off, so you just have 6 at a time and then they can click through if they want, or have them all set to the same time. And I'd have to look in to see, and I'd have to see if you can sync the rotating time. Okay, next question we had here is from Rebecca, and it says, can you do a universal search and replace in the code editor. Can you do a universal search and replace? Oh yeah, you could. But with a caveat that you do need some paragraph spaces in there. So if you delete all of the paragraph tags, it might delete some of the ones that were actually necessary. So it'd probably be faster if I just replace the code rather than going in through there and really replacing all the different individual paragraph codes. So really just depends on what I'm feeling that day. And if I see way too many to delete by hand, then I just put the new code in there. So, okay, I am looking for more questions. Does anybody have something that they want me to take a look at on their website with them to change at all or to adapt or adjust? I'm just going to sit tight and see if anything gets typed into the chat box here. And remember, we're going to do a spring co-work day where we all gather in one place and work on our websites. The spring co-work day is going to be focusing on building our skills with the Visual Builder and in Canva. Because right now, and also updating your item carousels on the bottom of the page here, because I've been getting a lot of requests to do that, and it can be time consuming. Okay, Rev wants to take a look at her website and show how to make a template for image boxes. Okay, so I'm going to go to Dev Ifless, open. And we'll just bring up a random page to take a look at. Well, let's just look at the home page. And I have my screen zoomed in, so I'll zoom out. Okay, so there's a help desk here, all about libraries. Let's see if there's content on this page. Oh, look at that. This would be a wonderful page. So right now, the micro interaction is it has lazy loading. So all the images on the page do not load when you go onto when you land on it. If we scroll down, you'll see that these ones just loaded. That's also called a micro interaction. We could take it a step further and put the hover on here. But first, we're going to take a look at playing in the Visual Builder. We're going to see if we want to make a template for image. You can do that a couple ways. You can start building an image. I'm going to open up an image module, and I'm not going to save this on your page here. I'll just delete it when I'm done. So let's say we want to do an image template, and we want to put an image in there. Let's put this guy in here, and we want to say there is a male smiling. Remember, we always want alternative text, and here's our guy. Oh, that's so fun. Look at the background is removed from behind him. That is so sleek and forward design and design standard now. This is very minimalist. Now, let's say that we want all image backgrounds to have a gradient. Maybe not, but we're just going to pretend. Let's say we want all images to have a box shadow, and you can change this here to make it really customizable. Oh, and this is that hover option. Let's say we want to add a micro interaction there. Okay. We'll see what it does. Okay. What else? Animation. We don't need animation because there's only one image in there. Okay, sizing. If we want all images to be 75% and in the center. Okay, what you can do. Wow, what you used to be able to do is when you would click save here, you could say save and add to library. Well, looks like that's not an option anymore. Pardon me. So what we're going to do is go to our dashboard here, save and exit. Let me see if it's possible on the Classic Builder. So using the Classic Builder, we're going to try this again. And let's just take a shortcut. So we're going to insert an image module. Right here, you can save it and add to your library, and you can say this is an image template. Save and add to your library. Oops. So now when you open up any image module, it will have these same settings. And so let's just do that a little bit to make that obvious. Now notice when we're in the Classic Builder, there's not as many options to do, say, the hover option. I'm not seeing where we can add in the hover option. So that is one of the advantages of using the new builder. So you get all the features. Okay, so I just added an image module. Let's see what that looks like on the home page. So that would have been here. We have to actually put an image in them so we can see if it carries the design across the template there. There's that guy. And I'm going to choose some leafy greens to see if it carries the formatting, that gradient across both of the images, because then that'll confirm if we have an image template successfully or not. Here we go. So this guy has a transparent background that's not taking the image gradient. So what that tells me is we need to create one in the Divi library, I believe, and then rename it. So I can dig into this with you later, Reb, so that the other listeners here can get their questions answered, since you and I work in the same office. Okay. The next question is template for image box. Okay. Should we do much to customize how our web pages appear on other devices? It really depends. For the basic, for our library websites in general, I would say no, unless you really don't want. Let's say an example is you have those sliders on your home page. Who is it? Who has some of those? Amory has slider images on your home page, and you really think that the text will be way too small to show up on a cell phone, because there's a whole lot of information and text packed onto here. You could turn this off on your cell phone. But they'd have to find this information on your other pages, and you would have to be confident that they could find this information on your other pages. But if these sliders aren't super important for people to see on their cell phones, then you can turn them off. It's up to you. Sometimes it's really nice to simplify what you see on a smart device, because you'd have to scroll through so much on your phone to get to where you're going. So this I just shrunk our browser a little bit so we can see how it would handle their website here. So it looks like we have a lot of work to do on the Amory website for it to look really nice on a cell phone. Right? Another way that you can preview what it's going to look like is if you do preview changes. No, you have to actually go into the modules and click on this eyeball here for a preview and then click on the cell phone. Interesting, it's having a short here. Let's see if it gives us that error code. So you can see how you can make it look pretty darn simple on your device there, and then have different settings for your desktop. Maybe you want to have your catalog enabled on all of them, but maybe you only want your slider enabled on your desktop but not on your mobile device. That would be something applicable there. Anyways. Any other questions? I don't want to hold you guys up. It's about 1:50. Rev, I know there is a way to create an image template. I just have to do some more monkeying. I don't want to take up everybody's time. So, well, that's all I have for today. And remember, this is going to be recorded so you can share it with all your friends or come back and revisit it when you're ready. If your website is in draft form, please send me updates as you have them, so then it speeds up our process a little bit and you can see the changes take effect. And if you don't like them, we can change them again. Otherwise, I'm going to stay put, but you guys are all free to go, my friends. Thanks for joining me today.